Oh, hello, friends. Hello, it's me, Dale Seever, and I'm so honored to be your guest, your host, your I'll be everything tonight. Your guru, your guide through this, the deep night. Now, we are live tonight, which means that what you're seeing on your screen is my physical presence reduced to a positive vibrational frequency that has been folded into digital zips and zorps and then pushed through a tangle of copper wires and insulated rubber tubing to reach you there at home with the help of perhaps a magnet or a giant crystal. Yes, traveling this way to you is not easy, and that's why I wear a reinforced turtleneck to protect my fleshy bits during transmission and a sacred amulet here which wards off evil tech spirits. Now, we couldn't do what we're doing without the help of our wise and powerful Shannon Goodorbit, who is our producer tonight. So here we are again, week 10, week 11. I mean, who knows at this point what's happening? I mean, I recently read that they had discovered a parallel universe where time was moving backwards in the opposite direction. And I said, sure, why not? Time can run anyway. And there's probably a universe where time runs as slowly as I did when I ran track in high school because my parents suggested I should take a team sport. But time right now is it's meaningless, really. Forget about it. The clocks are broken, birthdays called off, everything's growing laterally, which is why I recently bought some more comfortable pants. Once you realize you can just keep buying bigger and bigger pants, well, it doesn't seem so bleak, does it? Takes the edge off just a little bit. You know what I hope they find is a galaxy full of sweatpant planets, just gray orbs kind of slowly rolling around, too sad or too resigned to hold a proper orbit, maybe huddled together in a little clump, covered in cosmic pizza grease and sourdough starch, or crumpled up paper moons of projects that will never happen. Am I holding up here in an overpriced small apartment in New York City while a bunch of fellas get together for frozen blue margaritas in a pool in the Ozarks, ensuring that I can never leave my home safely ever again? You bet. Oh, it's wonderful. I have everything I need right here on my desk, which is also my kitchen table, which is also my bedroom set. It's just wonderful. I'm having the best time. You used to hear these stories of the folks in the tenements, in old New York City, and a whole family would be sharing a stair. And I thought, an entire stair? That's luxury. My goodness. If I see a bunch of you posting selfies from an extra wide staircase, I'm just going to throw my phone in the sink, which incidentally is right here. Now, we don't have a lot of time in this room because my wife, Galinda, needs the space for her bi weekly rage yoga sessions. That's yoga, but they put images on the screen of people not wearing masks, and then everyone just angrily bends over. My favorite pose is disturb possum. But we're going to put our rage and our sadness, we're going to compartmentalize tonight. We're going to put that over to the side for right now, and we're going to get on with the show. And thank you for being here. And I see your comments in the chats, and that's wonderful. But we're going to begin tonight by checking in with our dear friend, the sensational musical talent who's back with us, Elizabeth in the Catapult. Elizabeth, if you're there, I conjure you to the screen. Ah, there she
Hello.
is. Oh, and a friend.
This is Oslo.
Who is this?
To introduce my
Hello,
rabbit.
Oslo. My
He's very
goodness, you're familiar.
docile.
It's your what?
He's very docile. He loves the camera.
Very. Oh, well, the camera loves you, Oslo. That's wonderful. And how old of a rabbit is that?
He's 7 years old. He's an old
7.
man.
That's a lucky rabbit. Is that
Very lucky.
old? Is that old for a rabbit?
They can actually in the wild they live till about 2, but domesticated if treated right and not by children, not owned by
Yeah.
children, they can
Yeah.
leave. They can really. I guess they could live up to 14 years. I've heard.
Amazing. Well, that's wonderful. Well, I'm so glad to see Oslo. That's terrific. Now, you're going to play you're going to play a song for us later. But right now, I have a request for you, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Would you play me a little sitting down music? I'll get up again and sit back down. But this is something low and slow, like the way I used to look at flowers, but now is the way I look at the man who delivers our liquor once a week.
Ooh, that reminds me of honeysuckle rose.
Ah, yes, wonderful. Thank you, Elizabeth. That was a fantastic sitting down music. And we're going to see you in a little bit. You'll come back, both of you, I hope.
Good.
Okay, we'll see you. That's wonderful. My goodness. Okay. Well, our first guest is a writer and a performer and a poet and a podcaster. Throw that in there. Why not? Her recent book of poetry, Life of the Party, is a must read as far as I'm concerned. Olivia Gatwood is here. Olivia, good tidings to you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Thank
Hi.
you for having me.
Absolutely welcome. It's so great. I gather you are in Santa Cruz.
I'm in Santa Cruz. I don't have a rabbit to show, but
Well,
I thought what I could show was
yes.
this plant I own that makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would say
Doesn't
so. What
it make
what
you
kind of
uncomfortable?
plant is that?
Well, it's a cactus. I think it's called like a coral cactus. I don't know what to do with it because I hate it. I hate it. I hate looking at it. I hate interacting with it. I've moved it so many times. Um, it just looks like a wound. I don't know. So that's
Yeah,
what I have to show.
mostly a physical thing, or does it have a kind of weird vibe?
It has a weird vibe. It just and then it has a strange energy and it's I think fairly old, so that's not surprising.
Did it come with the place?
No, I bought it in Koreatown in Los Angeles because I
Oh,
liked it. I
uh-huh.
chose it really,
Yes,
and then
yes.
it changed. Something changed for me.
Oh my. Well, that can be very disheartening, can it, when we bring someone close to us and then they change or
Yeah,
disappoint us?
very familiar. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But Santa Cruz sounds like a lovely place to be, and you've been surfing?
Yeah, yeah, I feel lucky to be here. I surf a lot. I grow food. Yeah, I'm outside. It's nice.
Yes, making salads of all kinds, I suspect.
Yeah, I've made salad 2 days in a row now with things that I grew.
Well, I'd
Not
like to grow something. I would like to grow anything. There's just no yard, or just nothing. Um, well, I want to thank you. We have your book right here, Life of the Party, and it's terrific. This book, it's powerful, and one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, and we get a little sense of it with that plant, is that you've been able to kind of channel or at least focus rage and some of the feelings that you have. Is that fair? You've managed to be productive with your rage at a time, and I feel like there's a lot of rage out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've always found rage to be a pretty productive emotion. I'm really debilitated by sadness. I'm not a person who creates when I'm sad, I want to sit and look at a wall and disappear. And I actually think that's a common experience. I think the idea that artists like create when they're at their worst or at their lowest is not as true as maybe people think it is. But rage is energizing. I think it's productive and important, and yeah, it kind of propels me forward.
Yes, well, and if you can find that, if you can tap into that, as you said, it's so hard to work from a place of just overwhelming grief, which I think a lot of us are in right now, to the point where I get just weepy thinking about anything that happened before this time,
Yeah.
any part of my life that I experienced. It makes me very sad.
Yeah. Totally.
But one of the things well, that's it. That's all there is to say about it.
Yeah. I know I don't have a response. I'm like, yes, it's I try not to look back, but
It
it's
creeps
hard
up
not,
on you.
although I'm sort of used to this now, which
Yeah.
is weird.
This
But
moment you're used to.
at this moment I'm used to it. I feel it almost feels more strange, the life I used to live, than the one I live now.
Yes, yes. Well, shifting slightly into something that was delightful for me about reading your book was that you made a reference to the Gowanus Canal in one of
Hmm.
your poems in The Scholar. And I was so happy to see that. Of course, we love our little Gowani. Did you spend some time near the Gowanus? I've never seen it used as a descriptive in the way that you have.
Yeah, I lived in Brooklyn for 4 years. When I went to college there and stayed there after college. And I was really fascinated by the Gowanus, actually, because I loved it, but I think it's because I was like living in a city and rarely saw bodies of water. So I just like was so drawn to it. But then always every conversation was about how repulsive it was.
Yes.
And so when I had to write this poem about feeling repulsive, feeling gross, and feeling like everyone knew that about me in the context of New York, which is where
Mhm.
that poem takes place, Gowanus seemed like the Gowanus Canal seemed like the right fit.
Perfectly done. I make a lot of my own essential oils, and I have a number that have been inspired by the Gowanus Canal. Whenever I want a little hit of hot chemical August, or did that just move? I just put up my diffuser and
Hmm.
let things loose. But that's true. It is a repulsive. To call it a body of water is generous,
Well,
indeed.
anything things start feeling like bodies of water when you have none, that you can fill your sink up and feel enlightenment if you try hard enough. So
Well, yeah, I haven't tried that, but I'm going to fill up my sink and see if I get calm. Are there other self-care routines you could recommend like that?
yes, let's see. I think if you have access, sitting in the sun is really valuable. Um, let's see. Taking your time bathing. I guess someone might chastise me for wasting water, but I think being with your body can be a really healing experience. I really miss bathhouses.
Hmm.
That's something I miss from the former world that I feel will never come back. How could they? They could never.
You don't
So
think the
anyway,
heat would kill the virus?
I don't know. It's already like suspect.
Yeah. Yeah. True. You're not
Yeah,
starting at the highest position.
yeah. I don't know. And making a routine and being deeply forgiving for breaking that routine. I think those are my methods for self-care.
I think those are all pretty good. Now, how do you think that this isolation period has changed you, if it has?
I think that it has both. I was living in really intense solitude before it, and so actually not much about my immediate life has changed. But I think before it, because I was living in intentional isolation, I very much adopted this idea that I didn't need to socialize and that I like didn't need intimacy. I was on this sort of like empowered woman, like I don't need anyone, which like still true, but also not having even just the small amounts of connection that I had before has made me realize how important it is. I mean, I've hugged one person in like 11 weeks. Um, and suddenly it's like, man, it's like, fuck sex. Am I allowed to say that on here?
Sure.
I just did. Okay. Well, let's see. It's almost like the thing I thought I would miss the most is not that. I just want to be hugged.
Right. Just to experience touch would be enough at this
Yeah.
stage.
So I've learned
Yes.
a lot about what I actually need.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's important.
Yeah.
And do you think that when we come out of this, there'll be some kind of revolution of some kind of a touch-based experience?
Yeah, I think we're learning a lot right now about what the different ways that intimacy can look, you know. I think we're learning a lot about intimacy through verbal communication, which is something that many people don't partake in. I think, you know, some of my friends are writing letters. The emails I exchange with the people I work with feel more like letters now. There's these like kind of long check-ins, and I think people are learning a lot about their who they hold close. Um, yeah, so I actually do. I think that there will be an interesting revolution in like in intimate community. Whereas before, maybe people were operating on a larger scale and kind of trying to collect friends, and now suddenly it's like you just want your little circle.
Yes, yes. That term hyper-local comes to mind,
Yeah,
as it
yeah,
often does.
hmm yeah, yeah. I
I
feel
think about
grateful to
that.
be in a small place for sure.
Yes, yes. Well, speaking of small places, you grew up there in Albuquerque. Is that
Hmm.
correct?
Yeah.
And yeah, and I spent some time out there in Santa Fe, and I got to tell you, in terms of places that smell good, that's a place that smells good.
Yeah, I just bought a pack of New Mexican scented incense of all the trees,
Yeah.
because I really wanted to burn some pinon, which I haven't burned in so long. And so
Mhm.
I have pinon, I have cedar, I have alderwood. Oh, so good.
It's so good. If you could be a scent, what kind of scent would you be?
Oh my God. Okay. I feel like I would, so the scent that I wear is vetiver. I wear it as like as a perfume, which is really intense, but that's how I am.
Hmm.
Though I don't know that that's actually my scent. I think I'd be something a little more muted. Um, but I don't know. I think something. I think maybe like vetiver. If you put it on the day after a day that you were wearing something more citrusy, but you didn't take a shower. So the citrus scent is still lingering. And then you're like, actually, vetiver is tonight. And then you layer them. And then that's mixed with your pheromones. I think that's how I'd smell.
Yes, powerful. For me, it would be Penn Station first thing in the morning, just as the
Sort of,
Dunkin'
is that
Donuts have
sterile?
started. Is that what?
Is that sterile? Is first thing in the morning after they've mopped?
Oh, it's got still a little bit of cleaning fluid in the air for sure, but the Auntie Anne's first batch has gone on, so you can get
Oh,
a bagel half pretzel,
very
combo
nice.
going. Yeah, yeah, just the hustle and bustle of it. Um, well, uh, scent is so important to me, and even thinking about it, as I said, it just makes me emotional. I think it's my strongest thing. All of my memory lives in the scent.
Yeah, I agree. I want to hug someone in large part because I want to smell them.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
I'm right there with you, Olivia. And of course, you perform all the time, and you must be missing that and getting out there. But you're doing a lot of these kind of things, a lot of Zooms?
I'm actually not. I didn't. I think I'm really late to things always in my life. My friend the other day was like, "Why haven't you put on a show and like charged for it and like made it?" And I was like, "Oh, I could do that. Like, I have an audience. Like, I hadn't considered it." So, I actually haven't been doing that. But it feels good and it's fun and cool, and this is super cool.
Good. Well, it has been super cool to have you here. The book is Life of the Party, and once again, I just can't tell you how deeply felt your words were for me to read, and I think especially anybody should read it. I think fellas should read it and get a sense of what's going on. I just thank you for the good work that you're doing and will continue to do.
Thank you. Thanks for spending time with it. I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being here, Olivia. People can find your podcast is called Say More.
Yeah, I have a podcast with my friend Melissa called Stay More.
Wonderful. And probably doing some writing at some point, I bet.
Yeah, I'm writing all the time. I have a novel coming out in 2022. That's
Wonderful.
my
Well,
plug.
I love it. Get that plug in there. We love to hear it. Thank you so much for being here, Olivia. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you again at some point.
Thanks for
All
having
right.
me.
All right. Well, our next guests, a comedic musical duo that are the hosts of the Max and Nikki's Vintage Basement Show. Oh, I miss shows in basements, don't you? Max and Nikki, if you're there, appear.
I think we are appear. We have appeared.
We have appeared
before your very eyes.
Look at this.
You didn't say that we do magic because we just appeared. Out of
Yes,
thin air.
you did. A devilish duo. It's great to see you. How are you, fellas? How is it living there with each other?
It's well, I'd say at the very least, we have company. You know.
Yeah.
At the very least, yes.
We have the soundtrack to the musical company is what he means.
Oh, good.
Which is actually one of my favorite musicals of all time. I would actually say it might be my third favorite musical.
Company. Oh, it's very good. It's very good.
So good.
Yeah,
So good.
which begs the question: what's in the number 1 and 2 positions?
Well, I would say it's kind of a tie.
Oh,
Between we have differing opinions on this, but
okay.
I understand.
I know this sounds cliche, but Phantom of the Opera it's got to be number 1, and number 2, a close second, is the Fantastics.
The Fantastics.
Yeah,
The Fantastics.
Oh yeah. I mean, the music and the lyrics are so poetic. Great melodies. It's Shakespearean almost. There's some comedic moments in it that are dated, but
yeah.
for the most part, the Fantastics, love it.
But I will say the Fantastics. I don't believe it's running anymore, but it was the longest running musical of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, until it wasn't.
Well, and no, until there's always renting the theater out. They have, because it's an off-Broadway production. So
Anyway,
it's enough
what
about
was, was your favorite?
So my number 1 and 2.
Yes.
Well, I'd say for music, strictly the music side of things, I would say West Side Story is. I know that's another typical answer, but I think Leonard Bernstein really is one of the great composers of all time. What I like about him is he kind of melds music of what people might think of the academic world with the popular world, and it's this good milieu that I really identify with a lot, I guess.
Milieu, huh? That's large words over here, huh?
Well, it's not that large.
I do like Amelia. That's wonderful. But now this question I wanted to ask, which is, where did the love for all this early music and things start?
Where did it start? Well, I suppose our father actually, as a form of punishment, he did this more with our sister, but he sometimes did it with us. When we were kids, as a form of punishment, he would force us to learn the lyrics to jazz standards growing up. And that was just maybe one of the less strict punishments. And he always said, "You're going to grow to love this stuff, mark my words." And he was right. And jazz music is maybe the first kind of music I admitted to liking. Actually,
that's not true.
Or video game music.
First music that we admitted to liking were video game music.
Video game music. But
I see. Like what? Like the soundtrack to Pitfall or something? What are we talking about?
No, we're talking
something
more
a little. We're talking about
8-bit, 16-bit,
16. Well, Pitfall, yeah, but we're talking 8-bit and 16-bit era video games. So we're talking Secret of Mana. We're talking.
Well, I mean,
we're talking Metroid.
We're talking, of course, Legend of Zelda is always a classic.
But we're talking Kid Icarus. We're talking,
we're talking a lot of. We're talking Strider, even. That's kind of.
We're talking Treasure Hunter G. We're talking Final Fantasy 2.
We're talking about Mega Man 3. Great soundtrack, Mega Man 3.
And these all great stuff. Yeah.
No, and I think it is good that you have each other. It is a very specific kind of music you're all locked into. Probably not too many other people. Maybe there were. I don't know. Was there a clique of video game music enthusiasts around?
Well, and when we were in high school, there were a couple of guys that we became friends with that they were a bit snobby actually about it, but it was always fun sort of debating with them about not only what the best 8-bit and 16-bit video game music was, but also what the best video games were in general.
Sure.
But the oldie stuff, maybe you were alluding to that later. I mean, my mom, we grew up in Los Angeles, California. A very popular oldies radio station we were growing up called
KEarth 101.
And
no longer an oldie station.
No longer an oldie station. and you know, she would always play that stuff, 50s and 60s music. And, you know, when we were kids, I think we secretly liked it, but we didn't want to admit it.
I didn't think we secretly liked it. I know we secretly liked it.
But when we got to high school, I don't know, just our friends started, you know, they were really into the Beatles, and we really started getting into the Beatles. And from there, we got really
really into the early Beatles, like their covers, and that kind of you know, led to, you know, late 50s stuff, and
like Ricky Nelson and you know, Paul Anka and you know, Neil Sedaka and
some of those doo-wop
Everly Brothers, of course.
Everly
I mean,
Brothers,
you know, some might say that we're the modern day Everly Brothers.
Well, some might say that.
Sure.
Others may not.
Yes. There's maybe some other brothers you could be too. But with the oldies, one of the ones I love too is you do the Up on the Roof. And right now, that's a lot where people can go. You know, that's the only place people can go is Up on the Roof.
It's a great song. In fact, go ahead.
We're actually more influenced on that song there's a demo version out there on YouTube. You can look it up if you want.
Carole King and Jerry Goffin wrote the song.
Right. But there's a demo version of it. I think the real version of it is fine, but it's a little too sprightly, I think, or a little too happy-go-lucky for the lyrical content. But there's a demo version that I think really captures.
It's just piano
and voice. And it's sort of, I guess, a medium kind of tempo, and it really kind of captures the kind of the isolation and sort of the you know,
and
pensive so quality of
the lyrics really might speak to you during this quarantine, actually.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But yes, as you were alluding to, we actually had, for the past year, we had released a music video every week for a year, and we put a lot of work into it, and so we did 52 music videos. And
when we say music video, it wasn't
like
a high production music video.
They're live music
sort
videos.
Of live,
but we did that Up on the Roof one on top of our roof of our building here in Brooklyn.
Right. No, it's a nice rendition of it, and a nice video, a nice way to see it. And yes, as I said, if people, it would probably resonate with people right now if they want to check it out.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Now, you were living together before quarantine.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything to the idea? A lot of people say this, that, you know, there's a kind of psychic ability that happens.
Well, you know, not really, but I will say sometimes this might just have to do with growing up with each other. There's a synchronicity or
in
a synergy with
our understanding or perceiving of a certain situation.
Our perceptions,
that might happen.
the subtleties of certain situations, our critical analyses of certain situations will be alike. And so we might say the same thing at the same time because we are thinking, because of everything that has influenced us throughout our lives is pretty similar. We might be thinking the same thing when we see a piece of art or a piece or something that is not so good, actually.
Right.
Fascinating. So you're two individuals, but because you had the same upbringing and the same set of references, you approach something the same way. And so
that's right.
You may solve a problem
even,
the same
you know, if we might happen upon something in our everyday lives that kind of makes one of us chuckle or smile, we'll kind of look at the other one and they'll be smiling. We'll kind of nod knowing what's up, kind of, you know.
Right.
This is similar though, but you know, we're really close to our older brother and sister too, and so it'll be the same kind of situation with them too.
Yeah.
But even more so with us. Yeah.
Now, fellas, I can't help noticing it's pretty spare over there. Do you have furniture?
Well, we are in a living room, but we use it as a studio often to record music.
Right.
But we also we were doing these live streams every week for the past 2.5 months, and so we kind of wanted to clear the space just to make sure, because we like to move around a lot during our act, and so
that, and we also do not have very much furniture.
We don't. Yeah, that and we don't have.
Okay, all right. Well, if you had to pick an essential quarantine song, what would it be?
Oh, well, okay.
Well, I mean, and this is really off of not at all what we've been talking about, but for some reason or other, I've been getting into this song by Nick Kershaw called "Wouldn't It Be Good" from the '80s. You know,
I don't know that one.
It's like this very quintessential '80s song. It's in it's in pretty. There's a version of it in Pretty in Pink, and I just think it's just so 80s. And I'm like, oh man, I like that.
I don't agree. I don't
Okay.
think it's that good of a song. Now, what song I've been getting into lately is "You're the One," or sorry, "You're the Voice." "You're the Voice" by John Farnham, also from the 80s. But
Okay.
but you know, actually, truth be told, and this is really like I'm being totally honest here with you. Um, I've been on a real big Duran Duran kick for the past couple weeks, and you know they've always been one of my favorite bands, but there's just they've really held up over the course of the year, over the past several decades, and it's always kind of baffled me that not until last year have like 80s new wave bands been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, they've kind of skipped all those. Like, how are the Smiths not in there? I mean, The Cure just got inducted last year, and Depeche Mode was supposed to be inducted this year. But you know, like, not saying that these aren't good bands, but like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana, and Green Day, they're all inducted already, and they have been for a while, and they came about afterward. You know, I
Right.
mean, Duran Duran's been around a long time, and they were very influential.
A lot of
Yeah, yeah.
hits. A lot of hits.
Right.
A lot of hits.
But I should mention a couple of bands that I think are that people may not know that I think really you should check into. Foxtails Brigade.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, they're a really great band. They're based out of Oakland, California. Check them out. They're really great. Also, Bart Davenport, he's based in Los
Great
Angeles.
quarantine listening.
Great
for
quarantine
Bart.
listening. He's one of the all-time great singer-songwriters.
He's based in Los
That's
Angeles
great.
from Oakland, California.
Well, I think you gave us a lot of things to listen to that we hadn't heard before. So I'm
guess
very
so.
thankful for all of this. We can really load up a nice playlist and tune out a little bit, which sometimes is what we need to do. Now you stopped doing the shows for a little bit. You're going to take a pause.
We're
Gonna-
taking a month break.
Taking a month break, yeah.
Okay.
It just
We've
it's
been wanting to get. We also, in addition to this duo, we have a band that we have been putting on the back burner for the past, I would say, even couple years actually. But this quarantine is at least giving us some time to work on some tracks that we've been putting on.
it's kind of like the way I describe the band would be like the Beach Boys meets the Smiths, actually.
Pretty good. It's got to be pretty good then.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're working on that. We're gonna
Unless you don't like those bands, then
All right. Then it sounds awful.
Yeah.
That sounds terrific. Well, this is all great, and I'm happy to have a little to charge up on some new music. And where can people find out about if your band is going to play, or you're going to have the shows back up again?
Well, you can just follow us on Instagram at Max and Nikki, or you can go to our website, maxandnikki.com, go to our Facebook, facebook.com/Max and Nikki. But if you want to listen to the band,
or if you want to listen to the covers that we had been doing, I would go to our YouTube channel.
that'd be the best place.
You know, just go to YouTube and put Max and Nikki in there.
Well, yeah, youtube.com/Max and Nikki Weinbach.
Right.
There you go.
We're just giving you a bunch of stuff.
I love it.
Or,
I really. Were you already wearing the suits today, or did you get changed just for?
I slept in this.
I didn't sleep in this. I slept in my birthday suit. No, which was very similar
to this. He came out of the womb like that, actually.
I see.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, that's great. Well, thank you for being here. So great to see you, and I hope we get to see each other in the basement real soon.
Oh yeah. We would love to have you on our as you're referring to our monthly show that we normally would have
in the East Village.
Yeah.
I know we would just love to have you on that live show.
I won't hold you to it, but I appreciate it. We'll figure out something. Thanks for being here, you guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you later. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we're talking so much about music. Let's have a little bit of music. Let's bring our musical guest, Elizabeth and the Catapult, back on there. And if the bunny is there too, wonderful. Okay. Now, you doing okay?
Doing great.
Okay, good. I'm really happy to have you back on. You were here a couple of, months ago? a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I have no sense of time or space, so I have no idea, but it was great.
And you're still doing some concerts almost weekly, right? On Facebook and various things?
Yeah, I hit my head on that corner when I was ducking for something under the piano, and I had to move my weekly show. and it kind of bummed me out because it's like as a musician or as an artist, when you actually have the opportunity to connect with any fans right now, it's amazing.
Yes.
So I just, that's like my superpower for the week is that I just like, it's,
Yes. Well, I hope your head is okay, first of all.
I'm sorry?
I hope your head is okay.
Oh, yeah, in my head. Well, let's see
Okay.
as I play the song. I was a little slow for a minute. I had to go to the doctor. I was nauseous. I'm sorry I didn't want to talk about this, but I'm such a blabbermouth that I just can't hold back. But
It's okay.
I'm very clumsy and I hit my head all the time. And this is just a truth about me. And I've never been sick from it. So I think I had a mild concussion this week.
Oh my
And when you're
goodness.
alone in an apartment in quarantine and you hurt yourself, it's no bueno.
That's no good. That's not what you need to have
But my
happen.
friends really, they really, showed their love and dropped stuff off, and they're around, and so you realize that you're not completely alone.
Thank
There's people out
goodness.
there.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Well, if you're able to play, you'd like
Oh,
to. Okay. Well,
I
Elizabeth
may
in the
play
cat.
better from it.
We'll see. All right. I'll let you have this here.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for nothing. My brother, there is no in between. Never one without the other.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Sounded pretty good.
Yeah, I think I was harnessing some anger in that one
Good.
in a good way.
Yes, channel that
Like the
rage.
conversation with Olivia, like there's a stage when you're sad and when you can't write about the breakup or whatever it is, and then exactly like she was saying, once it turns into anger and it's got some fuel, thank you for nothing, you got a song.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're ready to play. Ready to
That's
play out.
great. That's great. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth and the
Thank you.
Catapult, everybody. That's wonderful. Our next guest here, as we enter ever further into the deep night, is an actor, director, and writer. A very funny person, too. She's been in TV shows like The Middle and Anger Management and the horror movie The Haunt. Skylar Helford is here. Skylar!
Coming. Hey,
Ah, there you are. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Have you been channeling rage while you're sitting there?
I've been drinking water.
Oh, well, that's okay too.
I'm covering. Have you found on Zoom? Do you cover your face?
Do I cover my face?
Well, I feel like I sometimes have to put a tab in front of my face on Zoom because I feel like I'm looking like, oh,
Oh, no. I have a lot of conversations where I'm just looking longingly into my own eyes.
well, that's good too.
Yes, I'm going to have to put a mirror next to my phone if I ever make calls again. I'll miss it. I'll miss my face.
So much time with yourself.
Yes. Speaking of time with yourself, you're out there in Los Angeles?
I am coming to
Yes.
my bed. Yep.
Oh, well, okay.
I
And
know it's appropriate now with Zoom and everything. It's like, I think it's okay. I think it's bedtime is okay.
yeah, what are rooms?
What are they? Nothing.
It doesn't matter. I hope you're not quarantined with anyone that drives you crazy. You have a good support system there?
I'm good. Yes, I'm doing well. I have this guest bedroom that I am in, and it's really nice. It's like my place for everything. I sit here so often in this one spot. It's become very comfortable. So
Yeah, you're not hiding a twin anywhere.
I'm not any. After watching that, I was like, God, I wish so badly that I had a twin with Max and Nikki. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like everything. I don't know. I feel like I'm so awkward so often, and and like if you had a twin, you just have someone to bounce off of all the time. I'm very
Yeah, it might not cure the awkward part, but it'd just be two of you listening to video game music. But now I'm an only child. I don't know if that's clear.
It's not clear. It's not clear.
Well, I am. Now, there's a lot of scary stuff in the world right now, and I sat down to watch this movie that you're in, The Haunt. Is that what it's called?
Haunt, yes.
Just Haunt? Is it the or just?
It's just Haunt.
Just Haunt. There
Yeah.
can be multiple haunts. And as I understand it correctly, forgive me if I botch what this movie is about, but it's some kind of psychological haunted house that preys on individuals, kind of a tailor customized haunted house to your specific psychological condition. And if you are afraid of X, it's going to magnify that.
Correct.
And your character's fear was spiders,
Mhm.
but
Just-
your love was dressing like a flapper.
Yes, and I had to dye my hair blonde for it.
Uh-huh. And I know from experience, as someone who enjoys a lot of fringe, that fringe and spiders do not mix.
Do not mix. No. And I don't know if on my Instagram, I had to work with these huge garden orb spiders. And there was a woman who flew out, came from Burbank. She's like the insect woman to go to. So she was great. But I had to have a spider crawling all up on my face and my hair. It's a terrifying day. It was huge. But
okay. Do you know that? I don't know a lot about showbiz. Did you know that going in?
I thought it was going to be CGI, to be perfectly honest. And then I was told, oh, we're just going to put a spider on your arm. I'm like, all right, I'm not in love with it, but it's on my arm. I can control that, I guess. And then I kind of got dared. It was kind of like, the directors are fantastic. They're amazing. They were like, if we put it on our face, will you put it on your face? And I was like, oh boy. And then everyone started putting it on their face. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to put it on my face. And so I did. And to be honest, the shot was incredible. So I guess it was worth it. So
dedicated to your craft. I'll tell you that.
I was quite quite the occasion. I would say that I would rather have a huge one on my face than a bunch of small ones, because at least I knew where it was constantly. So
Fair enough. Are they a deadly spider?
no, and a lot of them were very lethargic. I don't know what. I think they have to be like, if they're too fast or anything, then they're put away. They only put the really tired ones on you. I am so butchering that, but I think they were tired.
Oh, to be a tired spider in Hollywood. What's your worst fear in real life?
My worst fear. One I was thinking about recently. Oh boy, if an earthquake while I'm on the toilet it's not my biggest fear, but I was thinking about that recently. I was like, what do you do? Like, do you take the time to wipe? I don't know.
Yeah. That happened to me. Did
it?
Yeah, in Oakland, actually, when I lived there, that I felt an earthquake while I was, doing the business, and it's a frightening situation.
What choice did you make?
I got out of there. I had to pull up and get out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've lived my fear. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just got to go.
Yeah. I would also say living through a global pandemic with little or no national leadership would also be a fear, but
That's a fear. But
that's kind of 2020,
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah.
Yesterday's news.
Mm-hmm.
You were also in a show that you made called Indoorsy.
Yes, Indoorsy. And who knew it's so relevant now? It's kind of
right.
Yeah.
About people that can go outside, agoraphobic people.
Agoraphobics, yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't catch on. It's about 3 agoraphobics who like move in together and open a day spa in their apartment. But yeah, it's kind of, I'm not sure it's so relatable, but it's fun.
But now it seems like it would be a reality show.
I know there's a bit in it where because they're opening this day spa, they have a bunch of like treadmills and workout equipment, and there's one part where they like put sushi on the treadmill and make like a sushi conveyor belt thing at like Yo Sushi. It's like I don't have a treadmill here, but I should be as creative in my own quarantine as they were.
Yeah, it's a good project to do. Now, do you feel like you predicted the future? Do you have psychic abilities yourself?
Yeah, possibly. It feels like it, right? Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Say yes to that. Yeah.
Does it manifest in any other way throughout your life?
No, it's always the opposite of what I think is going to happen.
Oh my goodness! But you're holding up during this time. Are you somebody that can? I know LA is a little different from some of the other places, but have you been productive? Have you been able to work on things?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of writing. Started a lot of books. I'm not a great finisher, but I'm an awesome starter. I've been playing some Nintendo 64. I'm giving I've been giving my dad a lot of haircuts, which is, we've done the quarantine thing and everything. And he's been asking for a lot of, like, I don't know how often you need a hair. And also my dad's hair is like, he's got the, like, just a little bit of hair on here. He's got the Homer Simpson, like 3 hairs up here.
Yeah.
And he keeps asking for haircuts. And I don't know what I'm like, he asked me for a haircut. I was like, which one do you want me to cut? I don't know how often they can be.
Well, his issue is that he's picked a funny length, because that length requires a lot of maintenance. So
it's true. They're a little like scruff cuts. Yeah.
I haven't had I did a cut before we went in. I don't know why. I did dentist, eyes, and haircut just by chance. I had those all taken care of. But now it's growing in every direction. And but I could make that choice that he's making, but I haven't, on account of just how much I would have to have. Is he there with you too, or he comes in as a drive situation?
I go over to his place and
okay, all right, because they're going to start opening those up.
In LA, things are starting to open up, which is crazy.
Yes. Now we have something else in common, is the fact that you love Mr. Bean.
Dude, I love Mr. Bean. Yes.
Okay. Now, what is it about our dear Mr. Bean?
Sorry?
What is it about Mr. Bean that really gets you?
I've been watching it ever since I was so little on the VHS and everything. And it just, just the slapstick. And it's just every time it gets me. And in my senior year of, actually my junior year of college, I decided, I think I didn't get into the school show that year or something like that. And I was like, I'm just going to do a 1-woman show where I play Mr. Bean, because I can control that. And it was so fun. Got like just had posters all around college of me dressed up as Mr. Bean and doing it, and it went very well. I love Mr. Bean.
Is there anything funnier than him packing a suitcase?
There is nothing funnier ever. No anything as funny as him at all. Ever. Oh yes, I'm often just walking around doing the like going around. My boyfriend hates it.
Now, have things changed for you acting wise in this time? Are we going to have shows again, or are we just going to doom to watch everything on Zoom table reads?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I've actually transitioned mainly to writing. So I've been doing a lot of that. I got an opportunity to be writing on this, to be helping out with this show, this new Fox sitcom. So I've actually had a really great opportunity to be like, have structure within all this, because I've been on Zoom like 10 to 5 every day. So that's been really cool.
Yeah.
But I think Zoom is so fucking awkward, but I do think that people are doing really cool, innovative things with it right now. And it's really intriguing. My old college bard, they just put on this really amazing production. When they found out that the pandemic was happening, whatever, they transitioned their school show to be on Zoom. And they just did this incredible production where they just used really creative ways of, everyone was at home and doing their screens, but they've created these Zoom backgrounds, and worked with video editors, and they were live editing through Isadora, I think the program's called. And like just doing very, very cool things of like passing something to another person, the other person has the prop, and just I think it's actually a really interesting time for theater and like Zoom work.
Yes, and I gather there's going to be more drone footage. Lots of drones.
Yeah.
Are you scared of the drones, Skylar?
No, I think I want to get a drone.
Oh, well.
Maybe I could get a drone. That would be a fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
If it was a drone piloted by you, I would be reassured. But otherwise, I fear the robots.
Yes, exactly. Well, even exactly for Indoorsy, we shot this amazing drone footage, and it like right at the it was going so well, and then right at the end, the cinematographer was just trying to return it to his device, and it ran straight into a tree.
We've all been there.
Well, we've all been there.
Well, Skylar, this has been so great to talk to you. I hope that you stay safe and you're able to get some real great haircuts in. And
keep cutting mine every day. I'm just cutting my bangs every single day.
You got to get lower maintenance haircuts.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just the way. Well, creativity is finding itself out there. So that's terrific. And thank you for all of your great work. And we'll see you in whatever's next.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks, Skylar. Okay, take care. Okay, folks, our next and final guest of the evening, a fantastic stand-up and funny comedian who started out as I did in the Bay Area. She's been in all the great comedy festivals, does shows all the time. Nori Reed. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Dale.
How are you, Nori?
I'm good. I'm also coming to you from sunny Los Angeles.
It's so sunny. Looks like you're on the sun right there. My goodness.
I've died and gone to heaven. I'm in heaven right now. It's been good. It's been good up here.
Yeah. I've heard of the ring light, but you went for the full package.
Seriously, I just had to brag. I wanted everyone in the world to know that LA is just
Yes. And it's a recent move for you, is that correct? You were in the Bay Area.
You did your research, Dale. I moved to LA last November.
Okay, and so are you still in the kind of rosy glow of it? Are you still enchanted by that red shine from the Vaughn sign and the jacarandas in bloom?
Oh, the jacarandas! The jacarandas are gorgeous right now.
Yes.
It was, what's funny is I had that experience of like getting used to LA, and it was hard, and then it started getting good, and then I don't know if you've heard, coronavirus happened. It's something.
Sorry?
People don't know about this. It's some virus that's happening right now.
Sounds nasty.
I know it's a coronavirus. It's something interesting. that happened. So that's put a damper on things just a little bit.
I understand. I understand. Well, going even further back, though, now you're from Southern Kentucky.
It's true.
Okay.
I'm from
Now,
Christian County.
Christian County. Is that what you said?
Yes, literally, that's the name.
Yes, yes. And it would seem to be quite a change from that. I mean, Oakland, okay, that's a little, that's kind of a soft way in to LA, but it must be quite different than the way you grew up.
Yeah, my geographic trajectory was I'm super queer, and I had to get out of Kentucky because it just wasn't working. It wasn't really.
Yes, it had this.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. And so I like made good grades to go to, I slowly made my way north. I went to college in Ohio. Okay. And then
Yes.
I went to New York City. And then I did that, and that was good. And then I moved to Oakland from there. So it was kind of just a little bit of a journey, but yeah.
Yes, but you're happy where you are now. I understand that in Christian County, that is also the home to one of the famous psychics of the
true.
early era, Edgar Casey. Is that it?
You are spot on. Yes.
And this fella, if people are not familiar with him now, and maybe he's fallen out of popular discourse, he was known as the sleeping prophet.
Yes.
So he would come in, lie down, and then fall asleep.
Yes.
Go into a trance and tell you about what was going to happen.
Yes, Edgar Casey is from my hometown, and that's actually, coincidentally, that's how I enter any room as well. If I'm going to be doing anything, I come in, I like to lay down and just kind of sleep for a little bit, and then I just get up and then I do, what I'm supposed to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why we had you on last, because I know you wanted to have enough time to rest fully.
I gotta sleep. Also Bell Hooks. Do you know Bell Hooks?
Sure.
She's a Black feminist. She's from my hometown.
Wow.
So it's a weird. It's like it creates some weirdos, myself included.
Must have some interesting parades.
Yes, it's Christian County, Kentucky. Super Black, super feminist, super queer. Just I'm kidding. It's not. It's awful.
No. Have you ever gone to a psychic reading?
Oh yes, I love that stuff.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I believe it too much. That's my issue. So I'm hesitant to enter in because I know that I'm going to just trust what they say, and I'm going to give up too much information.
Yeah, my first psychic was when I was living in Park Slope. Park Slope? Are you in New York?
I am quite near the Gowanus. Yes.
Oh my God, you're right. You're a stone by the Whole Foods.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Amazing. Love that Whole Foods. I was walking in Park Slope, and this psychic was on a stoop, and I didn't know she was a psychic. She just was a woman, and she was like, "Hey." She was like, "You come upstairs with me." And I'm very naive, and I was like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Let's do it. I'm gonna go upstairs with you to your apartment." And then she gave me a psychic reading, and some of the highlights, if I can remember, were I almost died in childbirth, but my grandmother pushed me through.
Her spirit.
Her spirit pushed me through the vaginal canal, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Love that.
And it's like a doula of the ghost world.
Yes, she was a ghost doula, and she just kind of lubricated my mother's vaginal canal with her tears and just pushed me through. And then also she told me, it was a really good reading, but up until the end, she was like, in conclusion, you're very cursed and you're very dark energied. And so you need to buy all of these crystals. And then she like showed me another room, and I was like, okay, all right.
Yep.
She had to ruin it, she had to make it really weird.
All right. The sales pitch at the end is always Yep. I had the same thing with the timeshare opportunity at the Lawrence Welk Resort in Escondido. I was this close. I was going to go for it too. I was just happy to be there,
Same.
Yeah.
Same. People got to make it. Why do people always have to make it about money? I hate that. Yeah.
Commerce always ruins it. Do you think you're a superstitious person?
Ooh, that's interesting. My grandmother was a shaman in Korea. True story. This is real.
Yeah,
She was a shaman. Yeah, I wouldn't mess around with this. I wouldn't lie about this. She's a shaman. And so it feels like it's a little ingrained in me, like that kind of stuff. My grandmother, she loves vaginal canals. She's always she's in there. Am I superstitious? I don't like that word. I don't connect to the word superstitious. I would say that I'm more I believe in a spiritual energy. I live in LA. I live in LA now. What do you want? What do you want from me? This is LA.
I'm all about the spiritual energy, Nori. We're on the same page.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm very ashamed.
No. We're vibrating at the same frequency here.
Okay,
it's all good. Now, I'll ask you this. Are you optimistic?
Yes. I don't think I would have made it through my life experiences if I wasn't toxically, pathologically positive. In a way that is bad. You know, I've had a lot of therapy in order to like balance it out to where I'm not like so positive.
Yeah.
But I definitely have to look at things in a certain way. Which I mean, I'm a comedian, so I guess if you're are comedians optimistic by nature? I would say so. Maybe not. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess you hope somebody's listening.
Yeah, I feel like it's very optimistic to get on stage and be vulnerable and hope that people connect to it. That's a pretty optimistic activity.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another optimistic activity is dating. You doing okay with that in LA?
Oh God, dating. I'm not. It's funny because if someone who interacts with my social media, you would think that I date a lot because I post a lot about dating and screenshots from dating sites and stuff, but I find dating to be very annoying and challenging and just kind of, I'm not good at small talk, and I'm not good at I want to be like, so what was your greatest trauma and how did you rise up from it? And they're like, we're at a McDonald's and we just met and I don't want to talk to you about what my biggest fear is. And so I'm kind of like, I think I'm like too intense for casual dating, unfortunately.
I might also suggest a different location for the date, Nori.
Always McDonald's. Why is it always McDonald's? It's
I don't know. You might raise the bar just a little bit for yourself.
I appreciate that, Dale.
Well, you've had such a non-traditional path as you talked about, and then you got some real momentum going, and now this thing has happened, and I can only imagine it's kind of challenging and difficult, but you're still finding a way through it.
Yeah. I last year was a big year for me personally, which is such a weird thing to say, but I had some great opportunities, and it kind of is what really spurred me to move to LA. But it's been really amazing so far living here. Definitely a lot of opportunities here, a lot of great people. The comedy community here is like amazing. I think LA gets this, comedians love to do the whole like New York versus LA, and like no other city exists. It's just like New York or LA. And New York is the good place for stand-up comedians, and LA is like a terrible place for it. And I don't find that to be true. I think all the comedians I've met here are so funny. And I think there is definitely a revival of like alt comedy in Los Angeles, which is really fun. I love, like, there's just so many amazing alt comedians who I like love to watch.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of them moved from here to there too, but it's a constant exchange, as it always happens.
Constant.
Yeah. Well, Nori, I want to talk to you more, but maybe we can do that in another time because I believe we've run out of space here in the deep night. I'm sorry to say, but
it's my karma. My psychic told me this would happen today. She said,
Yes.
I called her and she said, they're gonna wrap it up real fast with you. They're not gonna want to talk to you for too long.
No, it's not a want. It's I want to talk to you. Believe me. I hope that maybe when this is all over, we'll get a chance to meet in person too. That would be
Absolutely.
a wonderful. And people can still follow you and find out what you're doing and what kind of activity you have going on.
Follow me on Instagram. It's Nori Reed. It's my name. I post a lot of psychosexual stuff. People are popping back up. I feel very
pop in. Things are happening. We're
fuck.
all here to hear that Instagram handle.
Bye, Dale.
Bye, Nori. It's been fantastic. And thanks to all of my guests. Look at everyone there. My goodness. Olivia and Skylar, Max and Nikki, Nori and Elizabeth. And my thanks to Shannon producing. And our artwork there is by Teeny. And the music you heard at the beginning of the show is by Simon Haynes. This has been so much fun. Thanks to all of you. I wish you all good health. And remember that although this night is ending, a bright new day is just ahead. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.